Hello, everyone. My name is Julian Sims, and today I'm going to be presenting my presentation on things that make me tick. An introduction of sorts, a friendly introduction explaining how I tick and all the things that make me me. Now, starting off, I want to preface this by saying I am not good at giving speeches. I'm really not. I have horrible social anxiety, and it got so bad that last time I tried to give a major speech, I broke my camera. So I had to buy a replacement, which sadly wouldn't get here in time. But even doing so, and with my sincerest apologies, I decided to soldier through and try to give this speech to you guys the best way I could. So, starting off, let's go to the table of contents. Here we have the lovely Froxolotl, a little internet gif that just brings joy to my heart. So cute, even though he looks a little sad. On the table of contents, we have the title page, the table of contents itself, the video summary, and then we get into my 5 pillars, the pillars of my speech, as you would say. My mask, its continuation, my pad, my sky, my dream car, my hobby, and my conclusion. I've somehow, even though I made this pretty ambiguously, somehow managed to tie all 5 into the art of making and preparing this speech. But I'll talk more on that once I get to the sections themselves. First off, let's talk about someone who's way better at speaking than I am. Susan was great. She has a gift with speaking. I I don't know how I could ever do anything close to the TED Talk she performed. The way she used her own personal experience as a focus lens to gain audience support and get people on her side from her viewpoint was inspiring. It really was. And that's the beauty of a well handled speech. It can not only inspire people, but it can tell a story. A story that you yourself wouldn't be able to tell through just body language. Something that you had to be there for. Speeches invoke emotion, and she did that. Everyone shares that story of, oh, I do this at home, so it must be okay here if they're saying this is like home. So it enraptured the audience, something that I figured was exactly what she aimed for. But aside from that, and aside from my want to be anywhere near as good of a speaker as she is, I think I can speak for a lot of people when I say it's time to get into the real important parts of this presentation. Starting off with my mask. This mask was bought off of Amazon and then customized for me for Airsoft. Same with the jackets that you can see on the left. My mask represents a lot of things. It represents my ability to play a role. Back in California, I went to a school for the performing arts, and I was an actor. Well, actor in training. Our theater teacher liked to call us thespians. Like, was her little inside joke. Wonderful woman she was, but you'd never catch me up on the stage. I had horrible stage fright. Horrible, horrible stage fright. And I couldn't deliver a line if it was to save my life. But I'm hoping to overcome that. I got over a lot of it when I was back in California delivering lines for speech there. Well, not speech. It's kind of the same thing. It's considered a speech class. It would be called communication in California. That's the only real difference. But The reason this ties into the form of a speech is because this mask and this outfit, to wear something like this, you're put on a team where you have to deliver orders and listen actively. You become the listener of a speech, basically. A participant in something larger than yourself that operates based off of your belief and your words. Sounds a lot like a main thesis. Next, we have the second part of my mask, my Viking cosplay. Now, every speech has its main thesis, but the thing that makes a thesis is your own opinion, your own viewpoint, your own personal flair. And I chose this picture to represent that. Because, well, it shows just how zany and crazy I could get. I have an entire metal axe over my shoulder. But, and the fun part when I say this, it also shows individuality, uniqueness, and the most important thing, at least in my opinion, when I listen to a speech, the ability to show all of that and convey it. I've never had that ability. Never really have. I can give a speech. It won't be good. I'm never really good at conveying my thought. I can regurgitate words as well as the next person. But speaking from the heart is something I've always struggled with, which is exactly why I put this picture in. This is my heart, a zany, crazy person. And I would love to be able to convey a picture like this in a way that everybody could understand, other than just showing them the picture. Because sometimes showing is just not enough. How do I need to show if I can't convince? Next, we have my pad. My pad represents my streaming career. And the reason it's important to me is because through this, I was able to meet and talk to and befriend so many people who have changed my life for the better. I met my entire team here from through this pad, through my gaming. I also met my current girlfriend, the love of my life, through my gaming. And we had our first date recently, and it was really, really something else. But I got this a couple of days after that date, and it nearly made me cry. Still does. The reason this thing ties into speech isn't, well, it's more abstract than the other two. I can't extrapolate like that well. But I tie it in because this thing represents your audience, really. It represents the audience that I tried to reach during my streaming career. Small though they were, they stayed around to listen to what I had to say, and it meant a lot to me. And I still try to stream for them every chance I can get, work and school notwithstanding. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I think we should continue on. Over to my sky. Well, our sky, I'd like to say. We all live under the same sky. To a certain extent. I've seen the skies above two major cities. The sky above Houston and the sky above Long Beach. And while both are beautiful, Houston has Long Beach beat in one place. It's clouds. The clouds above Houston are immaculate. As somebody who considers himself a creative, looking up at some of these sunsets and some of these clouds is like looking into an oil painting of infinite possibility. Like, I want to say that these clouds should represent the emotional core of a speech. Look at them. They convey so much without saying anything. In themselves, they are a speech, a conversation between the earth and the sun, given to us through beautiful light and shade. Moving on, we have my dream car. Now, this one wasn't hard to fit into speech, because this is a utility vehicle, a generalist vehicle, a vehicle meant to be niche in its application, but general in its use. And that's exactly what I think a speech should be. This car, well, besides the fact that it's a beautiful machine that I would love to own, also can do off roading. It can be made street legal, even though it's a UTV. It can and has been used as basically a pickup truck. It has towing capabilities. It can do all of that and so much more. As I said before, it's got infinite possibilities. All that matters is if the user's ready to use them. That's what a speech should be. A speech, no matter the topic, has infinite possibilities, infinite angles you can take from it. And while your topic may be niche, the communication is what you want to generalize. You want to be able to reach a wide audience with your speech. So, generalizing enough to where it's reachable, but making sure that you still niche is a balancing act that every good speaker will have to play at some point. And I think this car represents that perfectly. Besides the fact that I just really want one, like, really bad. Moving on, we have my hobby. Or hobbies. As I said before, I'm an avid gamer, so much so that I tried to make a career out of it. While I'm still working on the latter half of that, I do still enjoy playing games for fun. But more so, I love building minifigures. Building minifigures and constructing a speech have a lot of similarities. There are bits and pieces that are scattered out there, and you gotta cobble them together by finding them, tracking them down, piecing together information, and putting them together in something that'll be both visually and physically appealing to a wide audience of people you show it to. Same with gaming, in a strange way. See, the game here, Star Wars Galactic Conquest, or Star Wars Conquest, Mount & Blade mod, has you performing actions such as persuasion, giving speeches themselves. Though I chose this game without that in mind, ironically, it shows how much and how intricate the game is. It's a 24-year-old game at this point. The Mount & Blade series is older than I am, yet it still maintains such a fresh atmosphere and can be unique even in its nicheness, its general nicheness. And again, that's what I think a speech should be. Some way of remaining general, but also unique and niche. That balancing act is important to me. Just like school life, in a weird way. School life is similar to any job or obligation, a balancing act. One that you walk with your friends and family and even your instructors. One that's hard to keep up because sometimes things just go wrong. Same with a speech. No speech is perfect, but that doesn't mean you give up just because you missed a word. That doesn't mean you give up just because you messed up and you lost some of your slides or your cards. Technical difficulties notwithstanding, if you can deliver your speech or your product or yourself to any aspect of yourself in life, then you'll always have a leg to stand on. Both these two items, these two games, my hobbies taught me that. And that's why I included them here in this section, because of how important they are to me. In conclusion, I'd like to say that I'm a tad strange, not your everyday person. And we just started this summer semester. So, I'd advise you guys to buckle up. Because it's going to be a wild ride, and I don't plan on hitting any speed bumps. Thank you for listening, but even more so, thank you for having me here. It's been crazy coming here from California, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know you guys better and also learning how to speak like someone really should.